Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. So it's been a little while since I've done a video. Kind of been doing my weight loss challenge with trying to lose weight, get in shape. And it's been a great road. I'm going to do a revealing video here probably in a couple weeks to those of you guys that don't actually know me in person, but have been wondering, well, what's going on? You know, you haven't done no videos in a little while. But today I wanted it to be a cheat day and cook up a good meal. And so here we are. I'm going to do really great comfort food. Probably not the healthiest. It is a shrimp Alfredo from scratch. And it's real simple to do. And I'm going to do it here with you guys. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is get your skillet good and hot. Once it's hot, you're going to put a little bit of oil in there. I recommend olive oil now. Knowing what I know about trying to be a little more healthier. If you can cut out more fats, this is not by no means a healthy meal. So, you know, but if you can cut little things and make it a little healthier, then I do recommend it. So olive oil is the best way to go. And just put a little bit in there and then get your pan good and hot. Now, once that's done, you're going to want to end up putting some shrimp. You're going to cook your shrimp right off the bat. My shrimp are seasoned with salt, pepper, and a few different spices. You can use the type of spices that you like. A lot of people are salt, pepper, and paprika is the most common. I have a few Cajun seasons in here. I'm doing 2 pounds of shrimp in here, which could be overkill. Some people say, oh, that's more shrimp than you need. I like a lot of shrimp in mine. Just because, you know, when people bite in, you don't want to only have like 1 or 2 shrimp. I actually had a friend order this at a restaurant the other day, and he had only had like 4 shrimp, and I was like, man, that's insane. 4 shrimp for how much they charge. So we'll get these seared up a little bit, and then I'll come back. Now, one of the things I like to do that a lot of other people don't do is I will add a little bit of wine in with my shrimp. Just to give it a little flavoring. I'll also use the same wine in the sauce when I go to make the Alfredo sauce. Today I'm just using a store-bought from H-E-B Chardonnay, a white wine. It will add to a little flavor. You don't need a whole lot, just to kind of saute the shrimp up in there. And I will be back. Okay, once your shrimp are all cooked up, pull them off right off. You don't want them to overcook. I'm going to leave these on probably for about 10 more seconds, 20 more seconds, and then I'm going to slide them over to another plate. Have a plate on standby just so you can instantly pull them off. You don't want to overcook your shrimp. You want them to be a nice, you know, you want them to have a nice color to them. You want them to be fully cooked. As you can see, a lot of the Chardonnay is starting to pretty well dissolve out, leaving all the flavor, and a lot of the water is kind of gone, so evaporated out. So we're going to get these pulled off and move on to the sauce. Wow, them just look delicious and they smell so good. I'm actually going to sample one right now. Oh, them are good. So with that being said, let's get moving on to the sauce, and I will show you guys how to make up the sauce. Okay, so back with your pan, good and hot. The first thing you're going to want to do is add some butter. I recommend real butter, not fake butter. There's, get that in there real quick. I put in a lot of butter because I'm going to actually do a lot of sauce. I know if anybody makes this on a regular basis, they're already saying, wow, that's a lot of butter. But like I said, you'll see how big of a dish I'm actually making. I'm not making it just for me. There's a few people that I'm going to make it up for, so get that in there good. Once the butter melts, then we're going to chop up an onion and add an onion in there. Now, I've got a small onion all chopped up already. Now, one of the things I didn't mention on the butter, I did say don't use margarine. This is the butter I like. This is an pure Irish butter. It's real butter. It's going to be a little bit more pricier, but it is so good. When you do a dish like this, you definitely don't want to cheap out and have a butter that's kind of margarine based. This is going to be a rich dish that whoever tries it out will really enjoy it. So we will let these onions saute up a little bit. Probably spend about 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, until they're nice golden brown. And then we will come back. We're also going to add a little bit more Chardonnay. in there. I'm not going to add it just yet because I want to try to brown these onions up a little bit, and then I'll add it in and let that cook down a little bit. That way we keep the flavor of the wine, but a lot of the water will evaporate out. Okay, so now I just added about a cup of wine in there. Now I'm going to let all this wine kind of cook down a little bit, and that way we keep the flavor and not as much as the water, because we're going to make this into a heavy cream sauce. We're going to use some real Parmesan cheese and see how it comes out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I am going to add a little garlic for about a minute, and then a good way to tell if a lot of your liquid is cooked out, sweep right across and see how quick it kind of fills in. If all of a sudden you've got a ton of liquid and it's filling in right off where you just moved stuff, then that means you still probably got too much liquid. You want it to cook out a little bit because you don't want your sauce super runny, or you're going to have to add a lot more cheese to try to offset it. It is kind of a juggling act, but it's not super hard to do. So right now I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic in here, and then after that I'm going to add the cream, and we'll take a look. Okay, so it's been about a minute and a half. You can see a lot of it is cooked down. Now we're going to add the actual base of the sauce. For the base of the sauce, I'm using a heavy whipping cream. You can use a half and half to do this. The more cream you put is going to basically, it's going to be creamier, then you're going to add more cheese. It is a little bit of a juggling act to get it to a perfect consistency. Get this stirred up, and we will come right back. Okay, so right now we have the cream in there. You don't want it to boil, you just want it to simmer. So if you have to lower your heat a little bit, that's perfectly fine. You can see that it's starting to pop a little bit. You don't want it to start boiling. I'm going to add the cheese in there. I'm doing this one-handed, so I apologize. I want it really creamy, so I'm going to add, this is a brand that I actually like. I'm just putting a whole bag in there. A bag is 8 ounces, so about a half a pound. Now this cheese is actually going to start melting out, and it's going to thicken the sauce. If it gets too thick for how you want it, then you just add a little more cream. It's really easy to do. A lot of people get nervous when they do stuff like this because they just may have never done it before. This is actually, I think, better. Doing it at home, it's way more cost effective. It's better than Olive Garden because you know everything that's going into your food. Whereas major chains, sometimes they kind of skimp out a little bit. They may use a less expensive brand, or like I said with the shrimp earlier, they don't put that much in there. You can see that that's already starting to thicken nice. So we'll get this stirred in a little bit. You want to keep stirring it. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. You don't want it to boil. You want to keep moving it around. Get the cheese good and melting. And we will come back in a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, the sauce is lightly bubbling. You don't want it to boil. Now we're going to add in some pasta. I should have said this at the beginning, that when you're actually making this, have your pasta on the side boiling. That way your pasta gets done and you can just kind of mix it right in there with it. I did that already just to kind of save time because I don't like my sauce sitting. And we're going to start mixing all this together, and we will take a look how it comes out. I apologize for the camera because I am holding it myself and doing the cooking, which kind of ties up one hand, leaves me one hand to cook. In the past, I've had my son here with me as my cameraman. He is in school now, so. But let's get this going before this sauce starts to boil. Now, once you've mixed your pasta with your noodles, you can put any amount that you want to add in there. I say that some people like a lot of sauce. I am more of a sauce person and less noodles. Some people like it heavy sauce. Some people like it not a lot of sauce. After that, we're going to add in the shrimp that we've already prepared in the beginning of the video. And we're going to mix them in there with there. And then we will show you guys the finished product. Okay, so here we have the finished product, and it looks delicious. If you're a wine drinker, you can pair it off with some wine. Now, one thing that will come up, I'm sure, is some people ask, well, do you have to get fresh grated Parmesan cheese. You can actually use different kinds of cheese. A lot of people will use this right here. This is just the basic kind of generic, less expensive Parmesan cheese. I don't really like the powdered now that I've used the actual real cheese, but it will work just as well. If you're in an area where you can't find the actual Parmesan cheese, the area that I'm in, we don't have actual ground Parmesan cheese or real. We had to buy that. I ended up actually driving to the next town over to get the cheese that I wanted to make this dish. Super easy to do. I highly recommend you guys try it out. If you guys like this video, please leave a comment in the bottom. And I want to get back into doing some more videos. I know I haven't done many cooking videos or many videos at all lately. So we're going to get back into it, hopefully. And I will see you guys later. Hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Leave me a comment. That's always the most important thing. Hit that thumbs up right below. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed. You guys take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.